Look at this. She falls down. Here comes Alyssa Thomas, knee in the groin. And here she comes, fist on the throat. Knee in the groin, fist on the throat. Alyssa Thomas doing...
That sequence right there is exactly why the league's officiating is under a microscope this season. What we just witnessed isn't standard basketball physicality or a routine box out. When a player goes to the floor and the resulting contact involves what appears to be a knee to the midsection and an arm near the neck, the lack of a whistle raises immediate red flags. And the story behind this specific non-call reveals a deeply rooted divide that is actively tearing apart the league's most profitable fan base.
Caitlin Clark shoots a three. A player on the Phoenix Mercury gets into her landing space. Caitlin Clark comes down on her foot. No flagrant called. Caitlin Clark comes up holding her back.
Now watch how this pattern compounds just a few possessions later. We are looking at a textbook landing space violation on a three-point attempt. In the modern era of professional basketball, protecting a jump shooter's lower body is a primary point of emphasis for officials. Yet, in a crucial stretch of a 111-109 shootout against the Phoenix Mercury, the whistle stays completely silent. The immediate aftermath isn't just frustration, it's a physical toll. And the way the Indiana Fever organization is handling the physical toll on their franchise cornerstone is where the real controversy begins.
She gets hurt, and you see, as soon as she gets hurt, boom, instantly goes to grab her back. Again, the back that Stephanie White told us wasn't an issue. The back that's, again, this is twofold, because the coach lied about it, and then all the shills that allow this coach to lie about it, lied about it.
This is where the official narrative completely falls apart. For weeks, the Fever front office and head coach Stephanie White have projected an image of absolute transparency regarding player health. But the visual evidence of that heavy back brace contradicts the public statements. When reporters like Scott Agnes began questioning the timeline of these lingering issues and pointing out the obvious need for load management, the organization didn't offer clarity. Instead, the media access tightened, and the reporters asking the hard questions found themselves sidelined. The disconnect between what the team says and what the cameras show is creating an atmosphere of total distrust here on Baskley, and fans are right to question the motives.
Stephanie White sat there on the sidelines with her arms crossed, tweaking, sniffing, twitching away. This is a coach that said, I ride with Caitlin Clark. Stephanie White, you ride with Alyssa Thomas. You ride with DeWanna Bonner. You don't ride with the CC22.
That sideline demeanor speaks volumes about the internal dynamics of this roster. When you bring in a high-profile coach to lead a generational talent, the expectation is unwavering public support. But history matters here. Stephanie White's deep professional ties to the WNBA's veteran establishment, specifically her past tenure coaching players like Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner, with the Connecticut Sun, create an incredibly complicated conflict of interest. When your star rookie is taking unprecedented physical punishment and your sideline reaction is passive observation rather than advocating for a flagrant review, it forces everyone to ask who this coaching staff is truly protecting.
And the thing is, you know, Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner, they're all dapping it up in the locker room over there. They're all clapping each other high five in the locker room over there. All the old WNBA guard, they're all loving this. The old WNBA guard that some people want to get along with and key with.
That post-game locker room dynamic tells you everything you need to know about the cultural clash defining the WNBA right now. When opposing veterans are allegedly celebrating after a highly physical matchup that ended with a superstar heading to the trainer's room, we have officially moved past competitive fire and into something deeply personal. To understand the magnitude of what's happening, you have to look at the unprecedented financial reality of the league. The Indiana Fever didn't just see a slight bump in interest this year. They transformed the entire economic landscape of women's basketball. We are talking about a franchise that went from averaging barely 4,000 fans a night to consistently packing arenas with over 17,000 screaming supporters. National television broadcasts featuring Indiana are regularly pulling in north of 2.2 million viewers, dwarfing the numbers of established, championship-contending teams. Yet, despite generating this massive influx of revenue sharing that benefits every single player on every single roster, the on-court product remains steeped in a localized, old guard mentality. The veterans who built the foundation of this league spent years fighting for basic charter flights and improved salary caps. Now that the windfall has arrived, there is a visible, physical resentment toward the rookie who served as the catalyst for these new media rights deals. And instead of the league office stepping in to protect their primary asset, the officiating crews are allowing an escalation of contact that borders on reckless. This brings us directly to the leadership crisis in Indianapolis. Kelly Krauskopf returning to the front office and the implementation of Stephanie White as head coach was supposed to signal a new era of professionalism and strategic dominance. Instead, we are witnessing a masterclass in narrative mismanagement. When rumors and unconfirmed reports begin circulating about coaches maintaining inappropriately close personal allegiances with opposing players, reports that remain strictly unverified but nonetheless dominate the social media discourse, the organization's silence is deafening. In professional sports, when you refuse to control your own narrative, the public will eagerly write it for you. Think about the defensive strategies being deployed against Indiana right now. Opposing coaches aren't just trapping screens or playing aggressive denial defense. They are actively testing the threshold of the referees. If a player can contest a shot, step into the landing zone, cause a dangerous fall, and avoid a flagrant penalty, that becomes the new baseline for defensive pressure. It is a calculated risk. The Mercury knew exactly what they were doing in that 111-109 victory. They understood that neutralizing the perimeter threat meant making every single shot attempt a physically punishing experience. And what is the Fever's counter strategy? Silence. Passive sideline observation. A refusal to draw technical fouls to make a point. Great coaches in professional basketball, the ones who build dynasties, understand that sometimes you have to get thrown out of a game in late July to ensure your star gets a fair whistle in September. Phil Jackson did it. Greg Popovich did it. But the current Indiana staff appears paralyzed by a desire to remain in the good graces of the league's veteran establishment, terrified of being perceived as fully abandoning the old guard in favor of the new phenomenon. This internal tug-of-war is unsustainable. You cannot build a championship contender when the medical staff is allegedly obscuring the severity of a back injury, the head coach refuses to publicly go to bat against the officials, and the media apparatus is more concerned with protecting relationships than reporting the truth. Reporters who have covered this team for years are walking on eggshells, fully aware that asking a direct question about load management or locker room chemistry might result in having their credentials permanently revoked. The upcoming schedule offers absolutely no relief. As the playoff race tightens, the physicality is only going to increase. Teams fighting for seeding are going to look at the tape from this Phoenix game and realize that the blueprint for beating Indiana involves relentless, borderline legal contact, safe in the knowledge that the Fever bench will not escalate the situation. This franchise is standing at a critical crossroads. They have the most valuable asset in the history of the sport, yet they are treating the situation like a delicate political campaign rather than a basketball operation. If they don't fundamentally change their approach to player protection, media transparency, and on-court advocacy, they risk alienating the millions of new fans who are watching this dysfunction unfold in real time. So the question becomes incredibly simple, and it's one the front office has to answer immediately. Are you going to continue appeasing the old WNBA establishment, or are you finally going to step up, protect your franchise player, and build a modern powerhouse? You can't straddle the fence anymore. Let me know exactly what you think happens next down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button to stay updated on this unfolding situation, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.